Cray slumped into the small patch of shade provided by a lone withered tree. His pale complexion from years underground and in the shadowy jungles of the deep eastern continent was not meant for such treacherous heat. Nor was Faye's. Hailing from the same jungles, the necromancer's assassin counterpart was having just as much of a hard time. Once her mana ran too low to phase into shadow form, that is. The two have been wandering the outskirts of the Great Desert for weeks now in search of a certain individual. That was the third village we have swept through out here. Where's this blasted he-wolf? Cray blurted out in exhausted jumble. He-fox, technically, Faye replied. Well, whatever he is, he isn't here. If he even exists, that is. Or this stupid lost jungle, for that matter. The council would not dispatch us if uncertain in their endeavors a possibility. The order's number have dwindled too much to risk any of us for anything less than certain. We know that the target does not like to be found, and the lost jungle is lost for a reason. Obviously, it's not going to be so easily found or talked about in serious regard. The two waited until the sun dropped below the horizon to move forward. They were just close enough to the next town that they could make it through the dusk before the harsh winds of the night froze them out. As they could feel the temperature dropping to an uncomfortable level, they crested a hill overlooking a small town. Easily missed, the town appearing to consist of 3 tiny huts that only noticed by the dim light's glow from within, nestled between some very large sand dunes. The duo made their way down the steep slopes ahead. Once they reached the nearest of the huts, Cray noticed how small they really were. Wait, this is a town? It looks like you could barely fit a man in there to handle his business. What kind of waste is this? You really have never left home, have you, Cray? Be patient, you'll see. Stepping inside, Cray noticed this was no hut to live in, but merely an entrance leading downward about 6 feet before opening into a grand room appearing to serve as this town's inn. There were sets of hallways leading down into tunnels and stairs in every direction. This village is subterranean, unaffected by the harsh heat and killer winds. You should feel right at home, Deathstalker. It's brighter than I'd prefer still, yet I like the coolness. As dry as it is, I suppose. I'll get the rooms, you watch the gear, stated Faye before walking off towards the nearby bar. It wasn't long before Cray turned right back around to a loud crashing sound, in time to see Faye 1 foot on some poor soul's neck, throwing another several feet into a wall, collapsing into a useless heap. Not doubting for a moment she could handle whatever this was all over, he continued choosing a spot to drop gear. Perfectly one with a view of the action, now he thought to himself with a grin. After what seemed to be only 4 men were now spread unconsciously throughout the room, Faye casually walked up to the innkeep, spoke a few words, looked around and back at the keep before dropping a bag of coins with a soft yet heavy thunk and walking off to join Cray. Well, what in this level of the hells was that all about, Phoenix? They're on the list, and call me that again and you'll be doing more than playing with the undead. That did not seem like your more subtle style when you find a target. They recognized me. I'm unsure how, but assume they saw the tattoo. I'm sure that whiter than sand's complexion isn't a dead giveaway now I look around. Regardless, come help me bag 'em up before we head to the bunks. Cray helped Faye round up the men, putting the 3 that were not on her list out around the corner in the stairway they came down, and leaving the 4th put under with a special potion with the innkeep for pickup from the acolytes the order will be sending. They had nearly finished when Faye felt a small tug at her side, nearly surprised when realizing somehow someone got so close to her without detection, before realizing it was a younger boy, maybe only 13 years of age, or younger, only appearing older due to the harsh desert life. Are you really part of the order? The boy whispered excitedly. Leave, kid. But... Leave, kid, she stated again bluntly before she turned away, all but pulling Cray off his feet in tow. You know, I did notice that kid watching us since we walked in, said Cray as the two began unstrapping and sorting their various bags and armor, staging it for quick ready if need be. I know you think I'm going to sound a fool because it was just a boy, but there's something unsettling about him. I don't like how completely unaware of his presence I was until it could have been too late. I noticed that too, he said with the slightest bit of a taunt, accompanied by a raised eyebrow and devilish grin. As I am also sure you notice he's out here listening right now. He could try all he wants. I've ordered the whole room and hallway. All he will hear are innocent whispers, so now let's get some sleep. Come on, just let me slip him a drop. Just one, Faye whispered in frustration to Cray. You know I can't stand being followed. I don't care who the hell it is. This was about the 3rd time she had spotted the boy from the night before, spying on them in the market a few levels below where they entered earlier. Let's leave him be. I'm curious to see what his intentions are, Cray replied, hardly appearing to actually pay her any mind, as he was eyeing a gemmed bone-laden crisp blade that appeared to have a rather dark aura about it with great interest. To hell with it, she let out as she turned away, storming off. Well, wait, what are you... It was already too late, as Faye had already caught the boy trying to slip away behind a vendor's fruit crates. now holding the boy up by the scruff of his shirt harmlessly, but still aggressive enough to not let him get away. All right, boy, what is your fascination with us? I'm bored, sorry, I'm bored, the boy yelped, tugging at a grip on his tunic. Do you know how boring it is around here? Nobody interesting is ever around long. You guys look so interesting that I saw you fight and just knew you have to be some crazy adventurers. See, I told you. Harmless. And you sought to poison the poor boy, Crate said with a chuckle, still eyeing what was now his Nucris dagger, twisting and twirling it between his fingertips. Poison? Wait, what? Well, that doesn't explain how you were able to sneak up on me like that. Look, lady, I'm a street urchin in an underground desert city. I've learned how to be sneaky out of necessity and survival. I'm sorry I was spying on you, though. I meant no harm. I just wanted to enjoy the only exciting thing to happen here in like ages. You hear that, Faye? We're exciting. How not objective threatening. Hinting with his sarcasm again at his point from the night before about drawing attention she dismissed, as she does most his points. Oh, cool, you're on a quest, huh? A quest? Boy, you've heard one too many bard's tales in that pub above. Look, kid, if we answer a few questions or tell you a story, will you leave us the hell alone? Sure, the boy said coolly, before exploding into a hushed frenzy of questions, before being told to slow down and get 3 or they're done. Okay, so I for sure know you're in the Order of the Dark Phoenix. This place is actually a pretty common hangout for those aware of you. So do you guys really kill people and revive them back to your temples for an army of the undead? Gray, you want to take this one? Not particularly fond of the idea. I'd rather not be the one divulging Order secrets. I'll save that for the Grand Master's granddaughter, he said with immense emphasis. He already knows so-called secrets. Half the world does now we're nearly dwindled to nothing. He just knows the same ignorance everyone spews about not knowing. We are more myth now, except for those with history or knowledge of us from the old days. Fine. But this is on you. I'm just now getting back on your grandfather's good side from the last fiasco. Look, boy, are you aware of demons and daemons and the like? Yes, the boy nodded. We do mainly two of few things. We hunt down men, mostly, who have been possessed or touched by demons and slay them. Then my brothers in necromancy help relax the spirit. I will not divulge my brother's secrets beyond that in the matter. The other thing we do is hunt down really bad people and make their souls tell me their secrets. So do you ever meet good demons? That's two, and no. There are daemons who are not here to wreak havoc opposed to the vicious demons we classify the aforementioned as. But the fact of the matter is typically they're here in a way that is putting some innocent mortal's mind, body, and soul through hell. Now, what is your last question? Well, why are you here? Obviously, the boy stated with a chuckle. We're looking for someone, obviously. Now be gone with you. The truth actually being that the waves of demon attacks have been worsening behind the shadows of man's ignorance for the past 2 decades, and Faye's grandfather, in reaction to a vision of his, ordered them to find the city, for no other reason than he senses that it was what must be done. After slight protests and several failed attempts to weasel a few more questions in, the boy went on his way, as the duo prepared for their trip out of the city. They had made their way through every level and hub Subterranean City had, and did not spot a single person who could possibly be the target. And in a hurry to be away from this boy and anyone else knowing their business, Faye decided the cover of the coming night would be best for their departure. They would just prepare some warming spells to get through the deadlier of the cold hours. Cray was not pleased. Her attention being drawn to a sudden shift outside the campfire's perimeter of light that is their camp's border, Shalana readied her bow to a half-draw, already beginning to channel her mana deep within her chest, down through her arms, and into her fingertips. She had been pulling guard while Clay meditated, channeling his will into chilling sensation that flowed through the surrounding air as if the same atmosphere. This was the only thing allowing them to venture this deep into the desert, stretching beyond the lost city they found themselves thrown into via the last-minute one-way trip Shalana conjured up to save them both. Most people would have perished weeks ago out here. After 3 weeks of searching within the city, they only ever heard of one person being anywhere close to what they seek, and he comes and goes so sporadically, most forget he exists altogether. And those who do know of him say he lives out here somewhere as the only man able to tame the desert winds. The fact that whatever was lurking beyond the shadows was outside the campfire's reach mattered close to nothing, as Shalana's focused inner sight allowed her to detect the being's whole presence more than physically see it. Though the glowing yellow eyes lit by the faintest glow given by the moonlight this night was a dead giveaway. Damn saber cats, she uttered to herself. Clay, on your feet, we have company, she yelled while releasing her enchanted arrow at the eyes that were previously revealed before her. She knew if there was one, there was more. She also knew that as soon as they knew she knew they were there, they'd make their move. By the time the arrow hit, there was nothing in the one of few desert shrubs surrounding the alcove formed by the dunes. Nor was it intended to, though the thought had raised a chuckle at the idea from Shalana. The arrows erupted into flames, illuminating far beyond the necessary range for them to see each and every foe that lurked beyond. Now able to see all 7 of their foes, Cleon leapt from the sandstone pillar he previously sat upon in a furious bolt of holy light, sending a shockwave of enchanted lightning streaking for his foes, striking them with the fury of the gods themselves. As 3 of the Hellcats fell from Clay's thunderous attack, Shalana's following arrow exploded into a volley of nearly 100 arrows raining down upon the remaining demonic felines. Effortlessly thwarting the demonic raiding group, the 2 settled back in after a quick perimeter check. With the sensory abilities both of them could channel their mana into, being nearly certain the surrounding area was safe from any danger, it was nearly as effortless. We've encountered more and more raiding groups the further we venture out here, Clay. I know. Still no sign of anyone or anything other than these damn demons. But we have to keep looking if we have any hope to return home. Look, I don't even know why you're trying so hard to get home, to be completely honest at this point. I mean, if anyone should be mad here, it's me. You dragged me along on some personal order business, pulling me from a rather lucrative guild contract just to end up stuck in this beautiful, yet horrendously boring desert oasis. Might I just say that it was your hastily drawn, albeit life-saving, portal that put us here? Yeah, that I wouldn't have had to use if not for searching for you bullheaded paladin's forsaken tomb tablet. Seriously, Clay? We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. Your somehow undying devotion to an order that no longer accepts you, to put it bluntly. The semantics that drive the wedge between me and my brothers is nothing against the oath I swore yet. And furthermore, I have to get the tablet back to the order before more of them die in the pursuit of what I have secured. But isn't the overall goal achieved? Here the tablet's more safe than from the hands of the Dark Brotherhood. I'd say at minimum you just need to get word to your brothers. Can't your gods help with that? Over her remarks, Clay ignored her, returning to his position atop the sandstone pillar to resume focusing on his refreshingly cooling aura. The 2 of them spent the remaining night hours in silence, preparing for yet another day of wandering the desert. Neither of them actually got any sleep, instead spending the time in meditation state, able to rest and remain aware of surroundings, while recharging their mana naturally. The early hours of the next day were spent mostly in silence as well, as they packed up the camp and set off further into the desert. Shalana convinced Clay that after one more day they would have to turn back to make it back before supplies run out, and they can return to searching the desert sands. Other than the several Hellcat raiding parties they stumbled upon, the day was like the rest they had spent out here, as eventless as it was fruitless. Let's crest that next ridge and set up camp for the night. Looks like it should be about dusk when we hit the crest, said Shalana, pointing to a giant dune in the distance. Maybe we can get lucky, like that first week out here, and find an old sand dweller hut dug in. We can only hope. We've been out here so long, I could use some actual rest, said Clay. And food. These field rations are so dry now, it's like eating the sand beneath our feet.